Listen to me. Success is not about talent. It's about discipline. It's about what you do every single day when nobody's watching. Some of you want to be successful, but you don't want to sacrifice. You want to win, but you don't want to put in the work every single day. Let me tell you something. Self-discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. It's the difference between wishing for it and working for it. You don't become great by doing what's comfortable. You become great by doing what's necessary, even when you don't feel like it. Champions are made on game day. They're made in the dark, in the early morning, in the lonely nights when nobody claps for them. That's discipline. Your habits will determine your future. Show me your habits and I'll show you your life. If you wake up late, scroll your phone, and waste your mornings, don't expect success to knock at your door. But if you wake up early, plan your day, execute with focus, and push through distraction, you'll become unstoppable. Self-discipline is telling your feelings. You are not in charge, I am. Stop negotiating with yourself. Stop saying, I'll do it tomorrow. Do it now. Every day you wake up, you have two choices. Make excuses or make progress. Which one will you choose? Remember, the small things add up. It's not what you do once in a while, it's what you do consistently. You want to win? Develop habits that match your goals. Dream big, but grind daily. Because at the end of the day, success is rented. And rent is due every single day. Everybody wants to talk about motivation. Everybody wants to talk about getting hyped, getting pumped up, watching a video, listening to a song that makes you feel like you can conquer the world. Motivation is a feeling and feelings fade. Motivation is like that friend who shows up when the sun is shining, but disappears when the storm comes. Motivation will not wake you up at 4 a.m. Then, when it's cold outside and your bed feels like the most comfortable place on earth. Motivation will not push you to the gym when you've had a long day at work and your body is tired. Motivation will not help you say no to the junk food when it's right in front of you and your craving is strong. But you know what will? Discipline. Discipline doesn't care about your feeling. Discipline doesn't ask you if you're tired, if you're in the mood, if you feel like it today. Discipline says, we made a decision, we made a commitment, and we're gonna follow through no matter what. Discipline is a mindset that says, it's not about how I feel, it's about what I committed to. And when you live like that, you separate yourself from the average. Most people live in the land of motivation. They only work when they feel like it, only grind when they're inspired, only chase the dream when the mood hits. That's why most people quit. That's why most people never finish what they start, because they're chasing a feeling instead of building a system. Listen to me. Feelings are seasonal. They change like the weather. One day you wake up and you feel like going to work. The next day you feel like staying in bed. If your success depends on how you feel, you will never make it. Discipline is about doing what you say you would do long after the mood you set it in has left you. You think I feel like speaking every single time? You think I feel like grinding every day? No. There are days I don't feel like talking to anybody. Days I don't feel like getting out of bed. But discipline kicks in and says, we got a responsibility. We got a mission. Get up and get it done. That's the difference between winners and losers. Losers wait to feel like it. Winners get it done regardless. When you understand this, your whole life changes. Stop saying, I need motivation. No, you don't. You don't. You need habits. You need structure. You need consistency. You need to make a decision that no matter how I feel, I'm going to show up. You've got to learn to love the process more than the reward, because the process is what you do every single day. The reward is temporary, but the process is forever. And discipline is what keeps you in the process when the excitement is gone. Some of you start the year with big goals, big resolutions, and you're fired up in January. But by March, you're done. Why? Because the motivation wall. Motivation is like gas in the tank. It runs out. Discipline is like the engine. It keeps you moving even when the gas is low. When you live a disciplined life, you don't wait for perfect conditions. You don't wait until you feel good. You don't wait for the stars to align. You create momentum through action. You wake up and you go. And you go. You make the call. You write the page. You go to the gym. You put in the work. Even when your body says no. Your mind says no. And the world says no. You've got to train yourself to do it anyway. That's discipline. And let me tell you, Discipline will take you places motivation can't even dream of. Because discipline is a habit, and habits create results. Results create confidence, and confidence keeps you going even further. It's a cycle, but it starts with discipline. So if you're listening to me right now, I want you to make a decision. No more excuses, no more waiting to feel like it. No more waiting to feel like it. Your dreams don't care about your feelings. Your goals don't care about your mood. Your future depends on what you do when you don't feel like it. The grind doesn't stop for your emotions. Success is not emotional. It's strategic. It's about doing the work every single day, rain or shine, tired or energized, motivated or not. If you want to win, stop being a slave to your feelings and start being a master of your discipline. Because when you master discipline, nothing can stop you. Not pain, not fear, not fatigue, not failure, nothing. Discipline is stronger than motivation. Motivation might get you started, but discipline will keep you going until you finish. Your future is not determined by what you do once in a while. It's determined by what you do every single day. Let me say that again, because some of you didn't catch it. Your future is the sum of your daily habits, not your big dreams, not your intentions, not your wish list, your habits. You can talk about what you want all day long. You can post about it. You can write it on your vision board. But if your daily habits don't align with that vision, you're lying to yourself. You don't get the life you want by chance. You get it by choice. And that choice is reflected in the habits you build. Some of you are praying for a better future, but your daily actions are killing your chances. You say you want to be successful, but you wake up at 10 a.m., scrolling through social media instead of getting up early and attacking your goals. You say you want financial freedom, but you spend more money than you make. You say you want to be in shape, but your habits say otherwise. Listen to me, your habits don't lie. They tell the truth about where you're headed. If you want to know what your life will look like 5 years from now, look at your habits today. That's your future preview. The problem with most people is they think habits are small, insignificant. They think it's just one day I skip the gym. It's just one burger. It's just 1 hour wasted on TikTok. But those are just one moments add up. It's the small things you do repeatedly that shape the person you become. Excellence is not an act, it's a habit. Success is not a single event. It's the outcome of consistent effort over time. You don't become great overnight. You become great because day after day, you do the things others are not willing to do. You wake up early, you read the book, you put in the work, you practice your craft, you study when others are sleeping. That's what shapes your future. Let me give it to you straight. The difference between the people who make it and the people who don't is not talent. It's not luck, it's habits. Winners have winning habits. Losers have losing habits. It's that simple. If your habits are lazy, your results will be lazy. If your habits are disciplined, your results will be extraordinary. Stop expecting a championship lifestyle with junior varsity habits. Stop expecting millionaire results with broke habits. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You can't cheat the system. Life pays you in proportion to the habits you practice every single day. Habits are powerful because they run on autopilot. You don't think about brushing your teeth. You just do it. Imagine if success habits were like that. Imagine if waking up early, working out, reading, and planning your day were automatic. That's the secret. You don't need more motivation. You need more automation through habits. Because when something becomes a habit, it stops being a struggle, it starts being a lifestyle. You don't fight to do it. You just do it because it's who you are. So the question is, what habits are you building? Are you building habits that serve your future or sabotage it? Every choice you make is a brick in the foundation of your life. If your habits are strong, your foundation is unshakable. But if your habits are weak, your future will crumble the first time life throws a storm at you. That's why you need to guard your habits like your life depends on it, because it does. Your habits are either taking you closer to your dreams or further away. There's no in between. Let me make it practical for you. You want to be healthy? Build the habit of exercising daily, eating clean, and drinking water. You want financial success? Build the habit of saving, budgeting, and investing. You want to grow mentally? Build the habit of reading, learning, and surrounding yourself with people who challenge you. Don't just wish for it. Create habits that match it. Oh, Because your future doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you do consistently. And here's the truth. Building new habits is hard at first. It's uncomfortable. Your brain will resist. Your old habits will fight back. But if you stick with it long enough, those habits will become your new normal. What was once hard will become easy. What was once a sacrifice will become second nature. And when that happens, your life will change. Because habits compound. Just like money grows with interest, your habits grow in power the longer you practice them. One good habit can change your life. Imagine what 10 can do. Stop living by chance and start living by design. Now, decide today to create habits that reflect the future you want, not the past you've been stuck in. Because at the end of the day, your habits are the steering wheel of your life. They control the direction you go. If you don't like where you're headed, don't blame your circumstances, change your habits. Because your habits shape your future, whether you like it or not. So make sure they're shaping the life you want, not the life you're trying to escape. Most people lose because they let their feelings control their action. You can't win like that. You cannot reach the top if you allow every emotion to dictate what you do. I'm talking to somebody right now who wakes up and decides what they're going to do based on how they feel. Oh, I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like studying. Don't feel like showing up today. Listen to me. If you keep living like that, your dreams are done before they even start. Your feelings are like the wind. They change direction all the time. And if you let the wind control your life, you'll never have stability. You'll never have progress. And you'll never see the results you want. You have to understand this. Your feelings are real, but they are not in charge. Feelings are like children. They're loud, they're demanding, but they're not supposed to be driving the car. Too many of you got your feelings in the driver's seat, and you wonder why you keep crashing. You wonder why you start things, but never finish. It's because every time it gets hard, every time it gets uncomfortable, you quit. Why? Because you didn't feel like it. Winners don't let feelings run their life. Winners say, I don't care how I feel. I care about what I said I was going to do. I'm not telling you to ignore your feelings. I'm telling you to manage them. I'm telling you to stop letting them dictate your life. Feelings are indicators, not dictators. Not dictators, not dictators. They can tell you how you feel, but they can't tell you what to do. Discipline has to override emotion. Every single time. When the alarm goes off at 5 a.m., your feelings will say, stay in bed, you deserve it. Discipline says, get up, we've got work to do. When you come home tired and your body says, skip the gym, discipline says, I know we have a goal to hit. When your mind says, I'm stressed, let's scroll social media. Discipline says, turn it off and get to work. That's the fight you have to win every day, the fight against your feelings. The truth is, most people are lazy. They're emotional. They let a temporary feeling destroy a permanent future. They let a bad mood ruin their momentum. They let a little discomfort push them back into their comfort zone. You gotta stop living like that. Stop making permanent decisions based on temporary emotion. Your dream doesn't care if you're tired. Your bills don't care if you're sad. Your goals don't care if you're not in the mood. Life will still demand the work whether you feel like doing it or not. So the sooner you learn to control your feelings, the sooner you take control of your life. Here's what you gotta understand. Feelings are a terrible guide for success because they change every day. But principles don't change. Commitments don't change. Your why doesn't change. Your why doesn't change. That's what you live by. You live by your values, not your vibes. You live by your purpose, not your mood. If you're serious about winning, you've got to build a system that doesn't rely on feelings. You create habits. You set routines. You make non-negotiables. Because when you automate success, you take feelings out of the equation. If you've already decided you're going to the gym at 6 a.m., then when the alarm goes off, there's no debate. Feelings don't even get a vote. And let me be real with you. This is not easy. This is war. Every day your feelings are going to fight you. They're going to try to convince you to take the easy route, the comfortable route, the lazy route. But you've got to fight back. You've got to say, not today, not anymore. Every time you choose discipline over feelings, you build mental strength. And that strength compounds. Before you know it, what used to break you won't even faze you. That's how champions are made, not by feeling good, but by doing what needs to be done, no matter what. Think about it. The people you admire, the people you call successful, do you think they always feel like putting in the work? No, they feel tired. They feel stressed. They feel doubt just like you. The difference is they don't obey those feelings. They don't obey those feelings. They do it anyway. They show up anyway. They push through anyway. That's why they win. The greatest freedom you can have is the freedom from your own emotions. When you're no longer controlled by how you feel, you become unstoppable. So the next time you don't feel like it, and that time will come, remember this: feelings are temporary, but results are permanent. The pain of discipline lasts for a moment, but the pain of regret lasts a lifetime. Don't let a feeling today steal a future you've been dreaming about for years. You're stronger than your feelings. You're bigger than your emotions. You're built for greatness, and greatness doesn't bow down to moves. Take control of your feelings, and you take control of your destiny. You will never reach your full potential as long as you keep negotiating with yourself. Every day, you wake up, and there's a conversation in your head. You know what I'm talking about. That back and forth debate where one voice says, let's get up and get it, and the other voice says, let's sleep a little longer. One voice says, go to the gym, and the other says, you worked hard yesterday, take today off. That negotiation is the reason you're stuck. That negotiation is the reason your dreams are on hold. Because every time you negotiate, you give yourself an out. And as long as there's an out, you'll take it. You've got to stop negotiating with yourself. You've got to make a decision one time and then live by that decision, no matter how you feel. Negotiation is for people who don't know what they want. Negotiation is for people who haven't committed. If you really want it, you don't leave the door open for excuses. You burn the ships. You take the word "or maybe" out of your vocabulary. You stop saying, I'll try. No, trying is negotiating. Winners don't try. Winners don't try, winners do. When you decide to win, there's no other option. There's no plan B. There's no if I feel like it. There's only I said it, so I'm doing it. Every time you negotiate, you delay your success. Think about how much time you waste just going back and forth in your head. Should I? Shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? Maybe later. Maybe tomorrow. That energy could have been spent doing the thing you're arguing about. You could have been done by now. But instead, you talk yourself out of it, and here's the problem. Every time you give in, you make it easier to give in next time. You train your brain to quit. You make quitting a habit. That's dangerous because quitting small things leads to quitting big things. If you can't keep a promise to wake up when you say you would, how are you going to keep a promise to chase a dream that takes years of sacrifice? You got to understand something. The negotiation is a trap. Your brain is wired to seek comfort. It's always going to look for the easy way. That little voice that says, just rest. Just do it later. You deserve a break. That voice is not your friend. That voice is the enemy of your future. And the only way to silence it is to stop giving it a seat at the table. Stop arguing with it. Stop justifying. Stop explaining. Stop explaining. When the alarm goes off, get up. When it's time to work out, go. When it's time to study, open the book. Don't debate. Don't negotiate. Just execute. Discipline is deciding once and never revisiting the decision. That's it. You don't decide every day whether or not you're going to chase your dream. You decide one time, and then you build your life around that decision. People who fail make daily negotiations. Do I feel like it today? People who succeed eliminate the question altogether. It's not about feelings. It's about following through. It's about doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Some of you wonder why you're stressed all the time. It's because you live in constant decision fatigue. You're negotiating everything. Should I work out? Should I eat this? Should I start that business? Should I go to bed early? Should I stay up late? Stop it. Decide once and commit. Automate your success. Make non-negotiables. I go to the gym at 6 a.m. period. I don't eat fast food. Period. I read for 30 minutes a day. Period. When it's non-negotiable, it's not even a discussion. That's freedom. That's power. Let me give you an example. If you have kids, do you negotiate every day about whether or not you're going to feed them? No, it's a given. It's what you do. You don't wake up and say, do I feel like feeding my kids today? That sounds crazy, right? So why are you treating your dreams like an option? When Why are you treating your goals like they're negotiable? They're not, they're mandatory if you want to win. Listen to me. Negotiation is the enemy of progress. Negotiation is the reason you're not where you want to be. If you're serious about success, you have to kill the debate in your head. Replace it with commands. Replace it with execution. The moment the thought pops up, and maybe later, you respond with a no, nah. The faster you act, the less power that voice has. Action kills doubt. Action kills excuses. Action kills the negotiation. Stop negotiating with yourself. You already know what you need to do. You already know the steps. You don't need another sign. You don't need another motivational video. You don't need another speech. What you need is to stop talking and start doing. Because every time you negotiate, you rob yourself of the life you were meant to live. Decide today that there will be no more discussions, no more debates, no more excuses. Make the decision, lock it in, and never look back. That's how you win. That's how you take control of your life. Stop negotiating and start executing because your future depends on it. Every single day you wake up is an opportunity to get closer to your dream. But here's the problem. Most people wake up with no purpose. They open their eyes and immediately grab their phone. They scroll through social media, check other people's lives, and waste the first hour of the day on nonsense. No plan, no direction, no urgency. And then they wonder why life feels empty, why they're always behind, why success seems out of reach. It's because they're waking up without a reason. When you wake up without purpose, you're already losing before the day even starts. You have to understand something. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If you start sloppy, your whole day is sloppy. If you start strong, your whole day is strong. Waking up with purpose means that before your feet hit the ground, you already know why you're getting up, why you're getting up. You already know what needs to be done. You have a mission. You have a reason so strong it pulls you out of bed even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it. Purpose is what gets you up when motivation won't. Purpose is what makes you unstoppable. Some of you hit snooze like it's a sport. You know what that says? It says you don't have a reason to get up. It says your dream isn't big enough or clear enough to excite you. Because when your purpose is real, you don't need an alarm clock. Your passion wakes you up. You can't wait to start. You can't wait to chase it. But if you're dreading the day, if you're trying to avoid it, you need to check your life. You need to ask yourself, what am I living for? What's my why? Because without a why, the how won't matter. Let me be real with you. If you don't wake up with purpose, you'll spend the day reacting instead of creating. You'll let other people's agendas run your life. You'll answer every call, reply to every message, scroll through endless feed, and by the time you look up, the day is gone. Another 24 hours wasted. And then you'll go to bed frustrated, promising yourself tomorrow will be different. But it won't, because nothing changes until your purpose changes. You need a reason that gets you out of bed, like your life depends on it, because it does. Here's what I do. Before I go to bed, I already know what my next day looks like. I write down my goals. I schedule my time. I set my intention. So when I wake up, there's no confusion. No wasted energy deciding what to do. I already know. My day is planned around my purpose. That's how you win. You can't wake up and wing it. Winging it is for amateurs. Professionals plan. Champions prepare. And preparation starts the night before. And let me tell you something powerful. The first hour of your day belongs to you. Not to your phone, not to your email, not to your job, to you. That first hour is your foundation. If you spend it on purpose, reading, meditating, exercising, journaling, you set yourself up for success. If you spend it scrolling, complaining, and procrastinating, you set yourself up for failure. Your morning is the most important part of your day because it creates momentum. Start strong, and you'll carry that strength into everything else. Stop saying, I'm not a morning person. That's a lie you've been telling yourself to stay comfortable. You can become a morning person when your purpose is strong enough. When your dream is big enough, you'll wake up early because you can't afford to waste time. Do you know how many hours you've thrown away hitting snooze? How many opportunities you've missed because you couldn't get out of bed? That's the truth nobody wants to hear. Success requires sacrifice, and sometimes the first sacrifice is your sleep. Not because sleep is bad, but because mediocrity is worse. Though waking up with purpose means you understand the value of time. It means you respect every minute because you know you don't get it back. It means you attack the day instead of letting the day attack you. Every morning is a gift. Every sunrise is a chance to rewrite your story. But you can't rewrite your story if you start the day like a victim, complaining, dragging, wishing it was Friday. Winners treat every day like game day. They wake up ready to execute. They wake up ready to dominate. They wake up with fire in their soul because they know the clock is ticking and they refuse to waste another second. So here's the challenge. Stop living on autopilot. Stop starting your day without intention. Tonight, before you go to bed, set your plan. Write down your top 3 priorities. Commit to waking up with a reason. When that alarm goes off tomorrow, don't hit snooze, don't negotiate, get up. Remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself what's at stake. Because every morning you wake up without purpose. It's a morning you lose to someone who has one. Who has one? And if you keep losing mornings, you'll keep losing life. Wake up like your dream depends on it. Wake up with urgency, wake up with focus, wake up with gratitude, wake up with gratitude, wake up with purpose. Because when you master your morning, you master your life. Some of you aren't losing because you lack talent. You're not losing because you don't have opportunities. You're losing because you're distracted. Your focus is all over the place. You got big dreams, big goals, but you can't stay locked in long enough to make progress. Every time you sit down to work, something pulls you away. Your phone rings, a notification pops up, somebody called, and instead of staying on task, you respond. That's why you're behind. That's why you're stuck. It's not because you can't do it. It's because you're trying to do everything and be everywhere at once. Let me tell you the truth. Distractions are dream killers. They're silent assassins. They don't show up like a storm. They creep in like a thief in the night, stealing your time one scroll, one click, one conversation at a time. You think 5 minutes on social media won't hurt, but 5 minutes turns into 30, and 30 turns into an hour. And by the time you look up, your day is gone. And the worst part, you gave your time to something that adds zero value to your life. No ROI, no progress, just wasted energy. You cannot reach greatness if you're easily distracted. You got to get to a place where you value your focus like it's gold, because it is. Focus is the new currency. The people who win in this generation are the people who can eliminate distractions and stay locked in when everyone else is chasing shiny objects. You have to train your mind to tune out the noise. You have to build an environment that supports your vision. You can't expect to stay focused if your life is full of chaos. Clean it up. Get rid of the things, the people, the apps, and the habits that are stealing your attention and giving you nothing in return. Some of you are trying to run a race with weights on your ankles. You wonder why you're slow. It's because you're carrying distractions everywhere you go. You got too many tabs open in your brain. You got one eye on your goal and the other on everybody else's life. No wonder you're exhausted. No wonder you can't move forward. You're spreading your energy so thin that there's nothing left for the things that matter. You gotta cut it off. You gotta say no. You gotta protect your focus like your life depends on it. Because it does. Distractions aren't always obvious. Sometimes they come disguised as opportunity. So, you get an offer that sounds good, but it doesn't align with your purpose. You say yes because it feels like progress, but it's pulling you away from what you were born to do. Everything that glitters isn't gold. Everything that pays isn't your purpose. Stop saying yes to everything. Every yes is a no to something else. Every time you give time to something that doesn't matter, you're stealing time from what does. Be ruthless about your priorities. If it doesn't move you closer to your dream, it's a distraction, period. And let's be real. For most of you, your phone is your biggest distraction. It's the first thing you check in the morning and the last thing you check at night. You can't go 10 minutes without looking at it. You're addicted to notifications. Every ding pulls you out of flow. How can you create when you're constantly consuming? How can you produce when your attention is being sold to the highest bidder? You gotta break free. Turn off the notifications. Delete the apps that waste your time. Put your phone in another room when it's time to work. Create boundaries. If you don't control your phone will control you. Listen to me. The enemy of execution is distraction. Every second you spend distracted is a second you could have spent building your dream. You keep saying you don't have time, but you do. You're just giving it away. You're giving your time to gossip, drama, entertainment, and then wondering why your life isn't changing. Your life is a reflection of where your attention goes. If your attention is scattered, your results will be scattered. If your attention is focused, your results will be focused. Simple as that. So here's the challenge. Audit your life. Look at how you spend your time. Track it for a week. You'll be shocked at how much of it is wasted. Then eliminate the distractions. Cut them out. Block the websites. Log off social media. Tell the people who drain you that you're busy working on something bigger. This is your season of focus. And when you focus, you accelerate. When you focus, you make up for lost time. When you focus, you become unstoppable. Distractions are everywhere. They're not going away. But you have a choice. You can let them control you, or you can control your environment. You can keep letting life pull you in every direction, or you can lock in and build the life you were meant to live. Your dreams are waiting, but they won't wait forever. Eliminate the distractions and take what's yours. Success is not owned. You don't buy it. You don't earn it one time and then relax. Success is rented, and the rent is due every single day. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. They think once they hit a goal, once they make a little money, once they reach a certain level, they can stop grinding. They think the work is over. But the moment you stop paying the rent, success moves out, and it doesn't care about what you did yesterday. Yesterday's work paid for yesterday's success. Today requires a new payment. Tomorrow requires another. That's how it works. You can't make a one-time deposit and expect lifelong results. You can't put in effort for a season and think it's going to carry you for years. That's why so many people fall off after they reach the top. They stop doing the things that got them there. They get comfortable. They forget that the same energy it took to climb the mountain is the same energy it takes to stay on top. If you stop climbing, gravity takes over. You start sliding back down, and then you wonder what happened. I'll tell you what happened. You stop paying the rent. Every day you wake up, you gotta build a pig. It's not money, it's effort, it's discipline, it's consistency. It's doing the things that most people won't do, day after day after day. You don't get to skip payments. You don't get a grace period. You don't get a break. If you want to keep what you work for, you have to keep working. The price never goes on sale. There are no discounts for success. There's no buy one, get one free. Costs what it costs, and the price is due daily. Some of you are frustrated because you put in work for a week and expect results for a lifetime. You go to the gym for 10 days and then wonder why you don't have abs. You post on social media for a month and wonder why you're not famous. You start a business for 6 months and wonder why you're not a millionaire yet. Stop it. Success doesn't work like that. You don't plant a seed today and eat fruit tomorrow. You plant, you water, you nurture, and you do it every single day. You show up even when you don't see results. You pay the rent even when the reward hasn't shown up yet. Because that's what commitment looks like. And let me tell you this, the more successful you become, the higher the rent gets. The bigger the dream, the bigger the price. You'll think it's hard now. Wait until you level up. New levels bring new demands. When you get promoted, you gotta work harder to prove you belong there. When you get the big contract, you got to deliver on a bigger scale. When you build the business, you gotta manage it, grow it, protect it. The rent never goes down. So if you don't like paying the price now, you're not ready for what's next. That's why you can't afford to take days off. I'm not saying you can't rest. I'm saying you can't quit. Rest is recovery. Quitting is surrender. There's a difference. Champions rest, but they never stop paying the rent. Even on vacation, they're thinking about how to get better. Even on a break, they're planning their next move because they know the game never stops. While you're chilling, somebody else is grinding. While you're sleeping in, somebody else is putting in work. And when you meet them on the field, don't cry when they outperform you. They paid the rent and you did. Here's the crazy part. Most people think success is expensive, but the truth is failure costs more, quitting costs more, quitting costs more, regret costs more. You think discipline is hard? Try living with the pain of what could have been. That's a price you don't want to pay. So if you're tired, keep going. If you're broke, keep hustling. If you're frustrated, keep grinding. Because the rent is due whether you feel like it or not. The bill is coming whether you're ready or not. And if you don't pay it, you get evicted from your dreams. Stop thinking about what you did yesterday. Stop celebrating too long. Stop looking at old trophies. Yesterday's grind paid for yesterday's glory. Today requires a new grind. Wake up every morning and remind yourself, the rent is due. And don't just pay it. Pay extra. Overpay. Put in so much work that you are ahead on the bill. Because when you build that kind of cushion, you create momentum. You separate yourself from everybody else. You make it impossible for the competition to catch you. But the only way to do that is to show up and pay the price every single day. Success is renting, and the rent is due daily. If you're not willing to make daily deposits, don't expect a withdrawal. If you're not willing to do the work every day, don't expect the results every day. You can't cheat this. You can't fake this. You got to show up. You got to put in the work, and you got to do it consistently. Pay the rent and keep paying, because the dream you want has a cost. And that cost never goes away. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's not just a saying. That's the truth. Most people wake up with no plan. They just roll out of bed and hope the day works itself out. They live by chance instead of by choice. And then they wonder why they're always behind, always stressed, always playing catch up. Let me tell you why. Because if you don't own your day will own you. If you don't tell your time where to go, it will disappear and you'll have nothing to show for it. That's the #1 killer of dreams. Unplanned days. You've got to be intentional. Success doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. Every successful person you admire, they plan their days. They don't wake up and wing it. Winging it is for amateurs. Planning is for professionals. You want to live like a pro? Then you've got to move like a pro. You've got to sit down and map out what needs to get done before the day even starts. If you wake up and start reacting, you already lost. You're answering calls, replying to emails, scrolling through social media, and by the time you look up, half the day is gone, and you haven't touched what matters. When you plan, you're dead control. You create structure, and structure gives you freedom. I know some of you hate the word schedule because you think it means restriction. You think it means no fun, no flexibility. That's a lie. A schedule doesn't limit your life. It gives you life. Because when you know exactly what you need to do and when you eliminate stress, you eliminate confusion. Shut up. You stop wasting energy on decisions that should have been made yesterday. You wake up and execute. That's the difference between average and elite. Planning your day doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need fancy apps, too expensive planners. You need clarity. You need to know your priorities. Every night before you go to bed, write down the top 3 to 5 things you need to accomplish tomorrow. Not 20 things, not 50 things. 3 to 5 things that move the needle. Things that take you closer to your goals. Because let's be real, most people stay busy but never make progress. They do a lot, but they don't do what matters. They spend all day putting out fires, checking notifications, running errands, and then they're exhausted but broke, tired but unfulfilled. Why? Because they confuse activity with productivity. Your plan has to be built around priorities. Ask yourself, if I only get these 3 things done today, will I still feel accomplished? If the answer is yes, those are your priorities. Everything else is extra. And here's the key. Do the hardest thing first. Attack the big task in the morning when your energy is high and your mind is sharp. Don't start the day with easy stuff. Easy stuff will keep you average. Hard stuff will make you great. And once that big task is done, the rest of the day feels lighter. You start winning early and that momentum carries over. And let me hit you with this. When you plan your day, schedule your time like it's sacred, because it is. Don't just say, I'll work on my business sometime tomorrow. No, block the time. From 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., I'm working on my business. From 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., I'm in the gym. From 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., I'm reading. Put it on the calendar like an appointment you can't miss. Because when you don't schedule it, you leave it up to chance. And chance never delivers success. Here's the truth. People respect your time as much as you respect it. If you don't take your time seriously, nobody else will. Stop letting everybody pull you in a million directions because you don't have a plan. If it's not on your schedule, it doesn't exist. Period. Stop saying yes to everything. Stop living by everybody else's agenda. Take ownership of your time. Protect it like it's money, because it's more valuable than money. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. And don't just plan for work. Plan for life. Plan time for your health, your relationship, your growth. Because if you don't, those things will suck. Too many people succeed at work but fail at life because they didn't plan balance into their day. Don't be that person. Build a schedule that reflects your priorities, not just for business, but for life. Planning your day is a habit. At first, it feels like work. But the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. And once you experience the power of a well-planned day, you'll never go back. You'll realize you don't need more hours. You just need more focus. You'll realize success isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things at the right time. That's what planning gives you: clarity, direction, and control. So stop living on autopilot. Stop waking up hoping things fall into place. They won't. You gotta make them fall into place. Take 10 minutes tonight and plan tomorrow. Do it again the next night and the next. Before you know it, your life will look completely different. Not because of one big change, but because of small, consistent plans executed daily. That's how you win. That's how you turn dreams into reality. Plan your day, because success loves structure. Talent is overrated. Don't get me wrong, talent can open doors. Talent can give you a head start, but talent alone will not keep you there. I've seen it too many times. Talented people waste their potential because they never develop discipline. They rely on their gift. They think their skills will carry them forever. And for a while, it works. They shine. They dominate. But then the grind catches up. The ones who outwork them, the ones who stay consistent, the ones who have discipline, they pass them. Because talent without discipline is a ticking time bomb. It looks strong, but it has an expiration date. You gotta understand this. Discipline beats talent when talent refuses to work. Discipline shows up every single day. Discipline doesn't care how it feels. Discipline doesn't need applause. Discipline doesn't need motivation. Discipline just executes. That's why the disciplined person will always outlast the talented one who only works when it feels good. Because success isn't about what you do on your best day, it's about what you do on your worst day. And on those bad days, talent won't save you. Discipline will. Talent is a gift. Discipline is a choice. And the choice you make every day matters more than the gift you were born with. I've seen average people become great because they were consistent. They didn't have the flash. They didn't have the hype, but they had the grind. They put in the work when nobody was watching. They did the boring stuff. They showed up when they didn't feel like it. They paid the price daily. And now they're at the top, while the talented ones are still talking about what they could have been. Some of you are sitting on talent right now. That's the problem. You're sitting, you think talent will do the heavy lifting. You think because you're naturally gifted, you don't need to put in the same work as everyone else. You think the rules don't apply to you. But life will humble you. Life will show you that talent without discipline leads to disappointment. Because when the pressure hits, talent cracks. Discipline doesn't. Discipline holds the line. Discipline keeps pushing when everything in you wants to quit. And let me tell you something else. Discipline doesn't just beat talent. It develops talent. When you're disciplined, you don't just use the talent you have. You multiply it. You sharpen it. You take what was good and make it great. That's why disciplined people keep growing while talented people plateau. The talented person says, I'm good enough. The disciplined person says, I can be better. And that mindset changes everything. Because the person who is never satisfied, the person who keeps improving, the person who keeps grinding, that person becomes unstoppable. Discipline is doing the work even when the excitement is gone. Anybody can work hard when they're motivated. Anybody can show up when it's fun. But what happens when it gets hard? What happens when the results are slow? What happens when nobody's clapping for you? That's where discipline lives. That's where champions are made. Talent might get you on a team, but discipline will keep you in the game. Talent might win you a match, but discipline wins championships. Discipline turns good into great. Discipline turns potential into performance. You think Kobe Bryant was great because of talent? No, he was great because of discipline. The man was in the gym at 4 a.m. every day shooting thousands of shots. He didn't need motivation. He had a standard. He didn't negotiate with himself. That's discipline. Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, Cristiano Ronaldo, they're all talented, yes. But what separates them is discipline. It's the hours you don't see. It's the sacrifices they make. It's the habits they build. That's what makes them legends. And here's the truth. You have no control over how much talent you were born with, but you have 100% control over your discipline. That means the playing field is level. You can outwork anybody. You can outlast anybody. You can beat people who are more gifted than you if you refuse to quit, if you refuse to slack, if you refuse to let feelings run your life. The grind is undefeated. The person who keeps showing up day after day wins. Not the person who talks. Not the person who looks good on paper. The one who executes consistently. So stop hiding behind the excuse of I'm not talented enough. That's a lie. You don't need to be the most talented. You need to be the most disciplined. You need to be the one who refuses to take days off. You need to be the one who works like their life depends on it, because it does. Discipline is the great equalizer. Discipline turns underdogs into champions. Discipline turns dreamers into doers. Talent will make you look good for a season, but discipline will make you legendary for life. Choose discipline. Choose it when you're tired. Choose it when you're bored. Choose it when nobody's watching, because one day all those choices will add up. And when they do, the world will call you talented. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't talent. It was discipline. If you want to change your life, you have to create non-negotiables. You know what that means. It means there are certain things in your life that are not up for discussion. No debate. No excuses. No negotiation. You either do it or you do it. Period. That's the mindset that separates the successful from the average. Because average people treat everything like it's optional. They wake up and decide, do I feel like going to the gym today? Do I feel like eating clean? Do I feel like working on my business? They negotiate. And every time they negotiate, they lose. When you create non-negotiables, you take feelings out of the equation. You stop living by moods and start living by standards. You set the rules for your life, and those rules don't change based on how tired you are, how busy you are, or how bad your day was. They're locked in. Because here's the truth. If your commitment depends on conditions, you'll never be consistent. And without consistency, you'll never win. So what are non-negotiables? They're the core habits, the disciplines, the actions that are essential to your success. For some of you, it's going to the gym 5 days a week. Non-negotiable. For others, it's reading 30 minutes a day. Non-negotiable. It might be saving a certain percentage of your income every month. Non-negotiable. It might be spending time with your family every evening, no matter what. Non-negotiable. These are the things you do no matter how you feel, no matter what's going on, no matter who tries to pull you away. Because they're not optional, they're part of your identity. And let me be clear. Non-negotiables are personal. What's essential for me might not be essential for you. But you got to decide what matters most to your goals, your values, your vision, and then lock those things in. Write them down. Speak them out loud. Commit to them so deeply that breaking them feels like breaking the law. Because that's what will keep you grounded when life gets crazy. That's what will keep you focused when distractions come. That's what will separate you from the crowd. Here's the problem. Most people's lives are full of negotiables. They're flexible about everything. They say things like, I'll try to eat healthy. I'll try to be on time. I'll try to be on time. And then they wonder why nothing changes. I'll try is the language of failure. Non-negotiables don't live in the land of a try. They live in the land of a must. When you say, this is who I am, and this is what I do, no exceptions. You build power. You build confidence. You build momentum. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your identity as a disciplined person. And once you see yourself as disciplined, everything changes. Non-negotiables protect you from yourself. They protect you from those moments when you feel weak, when you feel lazy, when you want to quit. Because the truth is, feelings will lie to you. They'll tell you and skip to that. You deserve break. One day won't hurt. But your non-negotiables don't care about feelings. They're facts. They're laws. They don't bend. They don't break. They hold you accountable to your highest self when your lowest self shows up. Think about the greats. You think they wake up every day feeling like doing what they do? No, but they have standards, they have rules they live by. Kobe didn't negotiate with himself about whether to practice. Serena didn't negotiate about training. Jeff Bezos didn't negotiate about reading and learning. These things were non-negotiable. That's why they're legends. Because greatness isn't built on convenience. It's built on commitment. And let me hit you with this. Your non-negotiables should align with your dream. Don't just pick random things because they sound good. Ask yourself, what habits will make my dream inevitable? What actions, if done daily, will guarantee progress? Those are your non-negotiables, and start small. Don't overwhelm yourself with 10 things. Start with 2 or 3 core habits. Master them, make them automatic. Then add more as you go. Consistency beats intensity. It's better to do 3 things every day than to do 10 things once in a while. Non-negotiables require boundaries. That means you might have to say no to people. You might have to say no to parties, no to late nights, no to distractions. And some people won't understand. They'll call you obsessed. They'll say you've changed. Good. That means you're doing it right. Because change requires change. You can't keep doing what you've always done and expect a new life. You've got to set standards so high that they scare your old self. Because that's the only way to kill the old you and step into the new you. So stop living by feeling. Stop making promises you don't keep. Stop letting life push you around. Take control. Create non-negotiables and live by them like your future depends on it. Because it does. Your dreams aren't waiting on motivation. They're waiting on structure. They're waiting on standard. They're waiting on you to say, this is what I do, no matter what. That's the language of winner. That's the mindset that changes everything. Create your non-negotiables today and watch how fast your life levels up. You can't manage what you don't measure. You can't improve what you don't track. That's the truth most people ignore. They're working hard, but they're not watching the numbers. They're putting in effort, but they have no clue whether it's paying off. And they wonder why they're stuck, why they're frustrated, why they feel like they're not moving forward. It's because they're working blind. Let me tell you something. Hope is not a strategy. Wishing is not a plan. If you want to win, you need proof. You need data. You need to know every single day whether you're getting closer to your goals or further away. Tracking your progress is about accountability. It's about taking your dream out of your head and putting it on paper in numbers and results you can see. Because when you see progress, you stay motivated. When you see growth, even if it's small, you know the work is working. That's what keeps you in the game. That's what gives you the confidence to keep going. On the flip side, when you're not tracking, you can go weeks or months without realizing you're off course. You think you're grinding, but you're spinning your wheels. You're moving, but you're not moving forward. Tracking is not complicated. It's simple, but it's powerful. Write it down. Log it. Measure it. If you want to lose weight, don't just say, I'm eating better. No, step on the scale. Measure your body fat, track your workout. If you want to save money, don't just say, I'm spending less. No, look at your bank account. Track every expense. Know where every dollar's going. If you want to grow your business, track your sales. Track your leads. Track your conversions. Stop guessing. For gamblers, winners know the numbers. You can't improve what you ignore. That's why so many people fail. They think effort is enough. They think working hard guarantees success. But effort without evaluation leads to frustration. You got to inspect what you expect. If you expect growth, you got to inspect the process. You've got to look at the numbers and ask, is this working? Am I on track? What needs to change? That's how you get better. That's how you move from good to great. You can't fix what you don't know is broken. And here's the truth. Tracking your progress keeps you honest because your mind will play tricks on you. Your feelings will lie. You'll say, I've been eating clean all week. Then you look at your food log and realize you had pizza twice and dessert 3 times. You'll say, I've been grinding nonstop. Then you check your schedule and see you wasted 5 hours on social media. Feelings aren't facts. Data doesn't lie. That's why tracking is so important. It cuts through the lies. It forces you to face the truth. And when you face the truth, you can change. Tracking also builds momentum. When you see that you ran 2 miles yesterday and 3 miles today, you feel good. You want to keep going. You want to keep stacking wins. And those little wins add up. They build confidence. They build habits. They create a snowball effect. That's why I tell people celebrate progress, not perfection. You don't have to be where you want to be. Just make sure you're moving in the right direction. And tracking will show you that. So how do you do it? Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Use a notebook. Use an app. Use a spreadsheet. Whatever works for you, just make sure you write it down every day and review it. Don't just track, analyze. Look for patterns. If your weight isn't dropping, maybe you need to adjust your diet. If your income isn't growing, maybe you need to change your strategy. Tracking is not just about collecting numbers. It's about learning from them. It's about making decisions based on facts, not feeling. And let me say this, tracking is not just for wins, it's for lessons. When you fail, write it down. When you fall short, record it. Because failure is data too. Failure shows you what doesn't work. Failure teaches you where the gaps are. But you can't learn from failure if you pretend it didn't happen. Stop hiding from the truth. Stop running from reality. Face it. Fix it. Move forward. Listen to me, success is a game of inches. It's a game of small improvements stacked over time. And the only way to know if you're stacking those improvements is to track them. You can't afford to guess. You can't afford to assume. You need clarity. You need accountability. You need to see every single day, whether you're paying the price or wasting time. So here's the challenge. Pick one area of your life and start tracking today. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for next month. Do it now. Write down your workout. Log your meals. Record your expenses. Track your sales calls. Whatever your dream is, start measuring it. And then watch what happens. Watch how your awareness increases. Watch how your habits improve. Watch how your results explode. Because when you track your progress, you take control. And when you take control, nothing can stop you. Everybody wants to win when it's easy. Everybody loves the grind when the sun is shining. The bills are paid and the energy is high. But the real test comes when it gets hard. When the money isn't coming in. When the results are slow. When nobody's cheering for you, when you're tired. When you're frustrated. When everything in you says, quit. That's where greatness is born. That's where the separation happens. Because anybody can start strong, but only the consistent finish strong. Consistency is the difference between average and elite. And the truth is, most people fail not because they're not talented, not because they're not smart, but because they quit too soon. They couldn't stay consistent when the storm came. Let me keep it real with you. Life will test you. The dream will test you. The process will break you down before it builds you up. It's supposed to be hard. That's how it separates the weak from the strong. If it was easy, everybody would have. But you gotta make up in your mind right now that quitting is not an option. You've gotta decide that no matter how bad it gets, you're gonna keep showing up. You're going to keep swinging. You're gonna keep pushing forward. Because the people who win aren't the ones who never face challenges. They're the ones who refuse to give up when challenges come. Consistency is not about doing it when you feel like it. It's about doing it when you don't. That's what makes it powerful. That's what makes it rare. Anybody can post a few times, hit the gym for a week, make calls for a month. But can you do it for a year? Can you do it when you're not seeing results? Can you do it when your friends are out partying? When your family doesn't believe in you? When your mind is screaming, this isn't working. Because those are the moments that build character. Those are the moments that shape champions. And don't confuse consistency with perfection. You're gonna mess up, you're gonna miss a day, you're gonna fall short sometime. That's life, but consistency means you get back up. It means you don't let one bad day turn into a bad week, one bad week turn into a bad month. You reset, you refocus, you get back to work. That's the difference between winners and quitters. Winners fall, but they don't stay down. Quitters fall and they start making excuses. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's too hard. No, it's not too hard. You just stop doing the hard thing long enough to see the reward. Here's the truth. Consistency compounds. The work you do today might not pay off today, but it's stacking. Every rep in the gym, every call you make, every page you read, it's all building something. You just can't see it yet. That's why most people quit. They quit before the harvest. They plant the seed, water it for a little while, and then walk away because they don't see fruit. But success doesn't work like that. You've got to keep watering, even when the soil looks dry. You've got to trust the process. Because if you stay consistent, the results will come. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And let me tell you something. Consistency is a mindset. It's not about time. It's about commitment. You make a decision. This is what I do every day, no matter what. No negotiations, no excuses. You stop asking, do I feel like it? And start saying, this is who I am. Because when it becomes part of your identity, it becomes automatic. You don't think about brushing your teeth. You just do it. That's what consistency does. It turns discipline into habit. It turns struggle into second nature. And when that happens, you become unstoppable. But here's the kicker. Consistency is boring. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's doing the same thing over and over when everybody else is chasing something new. It's mastering the fundamentals while others are looking for shortcuts. It's grinding in silence while others are looking for applause. That's why so few people have it. But if you can embrace the boredom, if you can love the process, if you can stay consistent even when it's not sexy, you will dominate everybody around you. Because talent fades, motivation fades, but consistency endures. So stop quitting every time it gets hard. Stop starting over every Monday. Stop living in this cycle of hype and crash. Make a decision today that you're going to show up every day, no matter what. Write it down. Lock it in. Make it who you are. Because the truth is, the hard days are the most important days. Those are the days that build grit. Those are the days that build strength. Those are the days that create the version of you that can handle the dream you're chasing. Anybody can be great for a day. Anybody can be great for a week. But if you want to be great for a lifetime, you've got to master consistency, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. That's the price. Pay it daily. Because the reward is everything you've ever dreamed of.